Hey everybody, again I am Craig. We're here with another video on Sports Talk Detroit, and today I'm coming at you with something that you don't necessarily have to be a Pistons fan to appreciate. Today we are going to be talking about what in the world is a two-way contract. So, before we get started, don't forget hit that subscribe button. If you have further questions on a two-way contract or what the Pistons might do with it or what your team might do with it, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Would love to hear from all of you out there. And let's get to it. Let's talk about what this two-way contract thing is in the NBA. This came a couple years ago. We started seeing these two-way contracts, and at first I didn't know what it was. I'm like, what is this thing? Well, it's kind of exactly what it sounds like. It's a contract that can go two ways. Either you can play for your NBA team or the G League affiliate team. And if your NBA team doesn't have a G League affiliate, which I believe only 3 teams in the NBA don't now, then they could play for a different G League team and get called back up. But essentially, on an NBA team, you have 15 roster spots that you can and have to fill. The two-way contracts essentially make up the 16th and 17th spot on that roster. And they cannot spend the entirety of the season on the NBA roster. In fact, they are limited to 45 days with the NBA team. Now, when they are with the NBA team, they make NBA money. But their base salary is a G League two-way contract salary of $75,000 per year. All right? I mean, that's not a ton of money. Let's be honest, especially for a professional basketball player. But it is more money than the majority of the people in the G League. I'll be making a different video talking about different G League contracts as well, because I know there are nerds out there like me that actually want to know about this stuff and how much these people are making. So $75,000 is what they make. But they can play up to 45 days with the NBA team, the NBA roster, when they get called up. And when they're there, they make a 1 day, each day they get a day's pay at the NBA minimum. And this year that minimum is a little over $900,000. So that means if you spend the entirety of your 45 days in the NBA plus your G League contract, you're going to be making about $300,000, about $210,000 of that coming from the NBA time that you are there. So this contract, there's a little argument, there's a little debate. Is it good for the NBA? Is it good for players? And is it good for the G League? Well, let's start on the bottom end of that. Is it good for the G League? Absolutely. Now you are getting even better players that you would lose to playing overseas, and they are now staying here in the United States because they can make up to about $300,000 here, and they don't have to worry about going away, being homesick, leaving family. They can just stay here in the States and play basketball and play the game they love and make a really good living doing it. And we get to go to G League games if you have a team near you and get to watch the games. It's great for the G League. Is it good for the players, though? Yes and no. Now they can sign a two-way contract, but they really have to impress that team that signed them. Because if they don't, they're not getting called up. It's not like any team can call them up like it used to be. But teams are more likely to use those two-way players. I mean, how often on a 15-man roster is nobody getting hurt? If you're a two-way player, you're going to be one of the first people that get called up every single time. And is it good for the NBA? Anytime you're adding talent, anytime you're adding depth to your roster, it's good. It's also good to keep the fans entertained, because I know here in Detroit, we love an underdog, and I think many teams feel the exact same way. In fact, the Pistons currently under two-way contracts right now are Luka Garza and Chris Smith. If you subscribe to our channel, you'll get a notification. I'm going to be doing a player preview on each of these guys before the regular season starts, so make sure you pay attention and look at that. But if you want to know, hey, 16th and 17th spots, you might be asking, Craig, does that even matter? Like, honestly, do those spots on the roster matter? Will they even make a difference? Well, in Pistons world, I think it was clear that they made a difference last year. Our two-way contracts were Saban Lee and Frank Jackson. How are they doing now? They both just signed, I believe, 3-year deals, and I think they're both expected to be part of the rotation, especially Frank Jackson, who turned into a lights-out shooter and proved to be a very good role player and two-guard and scorer coming off the bench. So, if I were a player and I had the offer of a two-way contract, I would do everything I could to accept the offer from the team that is most in rebuilding mode, because you're going to have an opportunity to show what you have, and then you can show it to the rest of the league. So, if you didn't know what a two-way contract was before, I hope you do now. Max salary of about $300,000. You can play both for the NBA team, the G League team. You can spend up to $45 on the NBA team, or 45 days. And if you spend more than that and they want to keep you, then they can up your contract to a full 1-year minimum salary contract. So there you go. Two-way players. Go Pistons.